Hey, it's Jocelyn Hillam here, and I've decided to continue talking about nursing in these next couple episodes. At least this one and the next one will be a little bit more about nursing. Today, specifically talking about nursing a NICU baby, or trying to nurse a NICU baby. And next week's episode will be dealing with mom guilt for choosing not to nurse. So there's that coming down the pipe. Pregnancy kind of has a fourth trimester. You have the first three, but then the fourth is the postpartum, the figuring out the nursing or the bottle and dealing with all of those crazy hormones. You've probably heard of the baby blues and postpartum depression, and that stuff is real. And I have other episodes on that, and we'll have other episodes on that. But today we're going to talk about nursing a NICU baby, kind of in that fourth trimester. Hi, I'm Jocelyn, host of the Positive in Pregnancy and Motherhood podcast. I help pregnant women and mothers to find positivity in their season of life through changing their thoughts to work for them and not against them. I help mothers find the small, doable steps in thought and action without making drastic changes to their everyday mom life, and I can help you. Thanks for joining. Okay, so before we dive in to talking about how to nurse a NICU baby, I think it would be helpful for some to first know what a NICU baby is and what the NICU is. For those who are maybe the oldest in their family or are unaware of stuff like that, this might be helpful. I was pretty green when I had my first baby, and he was a NICU baby, but I got immersed fast in NICU language. So the NICU is the Neonatal Intensive Care Unit. It's basically like the ICU for babies. They keep close tabs on your babies. They have monitors going all the time. And it's basically like that intensive care unit for babies. So one of my babies was 9 weeks early. Actually, my first baby was 9 weeks early because I had preeclampsia and something called HELP syndrome. And it caused the baby and my body to have this reaction that would have ended up killing me had it not been for modern medicine and the medical intervention of a C-section. So I had this NICU baby. And why NICU babies are a little hard to nurse is because when they're in the NICU, first of all, if they're that early, they don't know how to suck. That reflex is actually developed a little bit later in the pregnancy. And oftentimes they will have to work with I can't remember the word for it. I think it was an occupational therapist. I know that sounds strange, but it's something like that can help work with your baby. And my baby, they worked with him as well, getting that suck reflex. So before that, though, they usually have feeding tubes or IVs, depending on the condition of your baby. But after the feeding tubes, they generally do a bottle because in most cases, the mom can't stay in the NICU 24/7, especially if she's got job obligations or other obligations with kids. Sometimes they do not allow you to stay overnight, so they do bottles. And you can have them do like breast milk bottles, but most NICU babies, they like to supplement to help those babies get all the vitamins and all the nutrients that they need. But they nonetheless have a bottle. So they get used to the bottle, and then when it comes time to coming home, they're kind of used to that. And when you go from a bottle nipple to a breast nipple, it's different. They've tried really hard to mimic the breast nipple, but it's just not the same. And the babies can feel that, and the babies know that, and it can be very difficult. I pumped the whole time my baby was in the NICU because I did want to nurse. I did want to give the baby my milk, and the nurses in the NICU I was at were very, very pro-nursing on how that breast milk is really good for those little babies. And so I kept pumping, which was not my favorite, and I was determined. I was like, yes, I'm going to nurse. Well, it was hard. It was difficult. I had lactation specialists, and it was just hard. When we got home, it was difficult. One of the nurses, or maybe even a lactation specialist, I can't remember, gave me something called a nipple shield. And this helped considerably in nursing my baby and not having to pump and then feed a bottle. So the nipple shield is like this clear breast thing, I don't even know how to describe it, that you put over your nipple, and it kind of protrudes farther than your nipple. But it can still give the suck reflex because it's thin enough and because it reaches close enough to your nipple. But it protrudes it enough that it's more like a bottle for the baby. And using this was so helpful. It actually allowed me to nurse my NICU baby, even though he did not prefer the breast, even though he did not enjoy it, even though I felt like giving up. With a nipple shield, though, he would nurse, and he did get enough milk that way. He continued and grew, and now that NICU baby is 8. He's actually my oldest. So nursing the NICU baby is difficult. And the annoying thing with that is carrying the nipple shield everywhere. That sounds a little petty, but it was kind of frustrating when really your breasts are just there. They're full of milk, they're ready to go, but to have that extra nipple shield, to keep it clean, to have it with you at all the times, it was a little bit inconvenient. But it did allow me to nurse my baby, and I probably could have got him to eventually nurse with a nipple, but I just wasn't patient enough. With my first 2 babies, I really was not very patient when it came to like bottle versus being patient with things that I could have worked out. It was just easier to use the nipple shield, and we both were satisfied that way, so that's what I did. So that might be a good tip for you if you are struggling to get nursing with a NICU baby, is to try one of those nipple shields. Give that a go and see if that helps you. Having a NICU baby is hard. Trying to nurse a NICU baby is hard. And being pregnant is hard. There are a lot of phases with bringing children into this world that are very difficult and can be very trying, physically and mentally. I made a course that can mentally help you get into a better state when you are feeling really down in pregnancy. And this course was made more for during pregnancy because they're pregnancy-specific affirmations. It's pregnancy-specific, changing the negative to the positive, and then exercises on gratitude. But if we lift our mindsets while we're pregnant, then it can help us to enjoy pregnancy a little better, to have a more positive light on pregnancy, to become that glowing pregnant woman that loves carrying her baby inside, that feels great honor and joy that she gets to grow God's children. It took me a long time to get to that point. I really did not enjoy pregnancy. It was hard for me. I didn't feel I had the glow. I didn't feel I was a beautiful pregnant woman. Until my 3rd and 4th pregnancies, I knew I had to change something. And I knew I couldn't change my physical pains very easy. That seemed a little more difficult, but I could change the thoughts that I thought about pregnancy. I could change what went on in my mind in relation to pregnancy. And it shifted. It shifted me and it helped me. And I felt towards the end of that last pregnancy, my 4th pregnancy, I did feel like I was glowing. I felt very special and unique that I was a daughter of God that was able to bring one of God's children into this world. And that was from changing my thoughts, from shifting my thoughts to hating pregnancy, to finding the beauty and the goodness in it through the exercises. Out of this, I made a self-led video program where you can lead yourself when you're feeling down, when you're feeling discouraged, when you're feeling sick, and you can lead yourself with me on the video encouraging you to find the better thoughts, to find the new directions. I actually have even more videos planned to add to this, so it will be added to over time, and as I build up and get more, the price might go up. So this will be a good time to get it if you're feeling in that mental slump. I am cheering for you, Mama. I am rooting for you. I want you to be successful in your pregnancies, in your motherhood. And in this season of growing a baby, you can do it. You can nurse your NICU baby, and you can find greater joy and satisfaction in pregnancy, even though it may seem hard or it may seem impossible. You are amazing, Mama, and your children need you. Keep up the good work. Thank you for being a part of the Positive in Pregnancy and Motherhood podcast, for listening, for sharing, and most of all, for applying these tools into your own life to improve your own happiness so that you can find your own better thoughts for a better you in a positive pregnancy, in losing that stubborn baby weight, and becoming the mom you desire to be through taking small steps in thought and action to reach your goals. If you are a mother who has an inner desire to enjoy motherhood and pregnancy better, but you are having difficulty figuring it out, I can help you. I can help you find the small, doable steps without drastic changes to your everyday mom life. Reach out, let's connect, and let's see you move forward. My name is Jocelyn, and I thank you for listening. Until next time.